look over this in the morning and round y'all up sometime tomorrow, the next day, sign it.
What is it? Oh, the signature cards?
You're gonna be hard pressed tomorrow.
I said, we all gonna
Or
be
the
in,
next day.
yeah, we all, County. Their chamber and our chamber has put this together. I think it's a great opportunity to work with our neighbors, so we look forward to going tomorrow and meeting with those legislators. And then we look forward Thursday to attending that dinner that you mentioned with Kia, where Miss Jane will be recognized, and we're just proud that you belong to us. And we look forward to being there with you tomorrow night. Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm going to echo what several have already said, and that is to thank Public Works and all, because we've got a great crew. And the discouraging thing is when you put barricades up to keep people from traveling the road, and then you have citizens that will actually move those barricades, and you're putting yourself in danger. And, you know, it's really no smart thing to do. And the other thing that kind of is discouraging for me is to read the road report to see how much time county employees are spending picking up sofas and appliances and things on the side of the road. And litter is a huge problem in this county. You don't have to go very far to see that litter is everywhere. And with that thought in mind, Miss Jane there again is heading up the Keep Merriweather Beautiful. And I'm hoping that we can get at least 2 days a year designated, hopefully in April and in October, that if people have a need to clean up, put it in the proper place, because it's costing taxpayers the money that it takes for our county workers to get out and pick up the stuff on the side of the road if we're fortunate enough to have them available to do that. But as Keep Merriweather Beautiful moves along, I'm hoping that all the citizens will get involved, the cities will get involved, and people will be involved to know that the one man's trash is another man's treasure does not apply to litter at all. So I'm looking forward to that group and how we can work together to make Merriweather and keep it beautiful, because we've got a beautiful county here. Lots of roads, lots of damage from the weather that we've had. And please, Mr. O'Neill, tell the crew again how much we appreciate all the work that's being done. Thank you.
I will. I do that on a daily basis now.
All right, now we come, well, our county attorney would be listed next, and we know that Ms. Henderson's unable to be with us tonight, so we'll go to the portion of our meeting for public comment. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to say anything, we ask that you come forward, give us your name and address, and we'll give you 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Ella Ross. I don't have your sign-in sheet up here. But my name is Ella Ross, and I stay on 711 Leroy Robinson Road off of Strickland Town Road. Now, I've been sitting here and listening, and I've been patient. I haven't seen anybody come down on Leroy Robinson Road to check Leroy Robinson Road. We got somebody need to come down there, because we stay down there, and I haven't seen nobody coming down there. Everybody been saying y'all been out there Gold Mine Road, but I ain't seen nobody on Leroy Robinson Road. And we got colors down there. This past weekend, you couldn't even get out from down there. When you come across the road, your car almost cut off because there's so much water. You're going to try and miss it, and you're going to get in a hole. Where the people, I don't know what not happened, but you all need to come down Leroy Robinson Road.
Thank you. Is there anyone else want to say anything?
Well, talking about the trash issue, first of all, my name is Dan Rosser. I stay at 2235 Primrose Road in the Zania community. And most of y'all know me. I know Commissioner Hines, she knows me. And I'm also a fireman for the city of Newnan. I'm a captain up there. And I could have easily moved away from Merriweather County, but I love this county. And we just need to try to figure out a way how we're going to improve this county. That's what we need to try to figure out. Because I'm 42 years old, about to be 43, and it still seems like everything is still the same. The only thing I've seen different in this county so far is the landfill deal. But that had transgressed into something positive for my community on the northern end of the county. We have that facility out there where the guys working. Yes, we got a lot of people working out there, but we need something for the community besides just the working part. We need more as far as recreation, as parks goes on the northern end of this county. And I'm glad to hear that someone's talking about the trash issue, because I am so sick and tired of waking up every single day, going to work, coming home, seeing trash. There's more trash on the side of Primrose Road right now than it is out there in the landfill. The road is getting in bad situations on that end of the county. We need to try to figure out how we're going to be able to work and take care of not only, you would talk about making Meriwether County beautiful and keeping Meriwether County beautiful. We got to get out into the communities. It's all good standing here talking about it up here in front of the board, but we have to get out in the community. Talk to the people that elected you all for this very position, the churches, the business owners. Those are the people that we have to talk to in order to make things positive in this county. Because if not, Meriwether County is still going to be the same way it has been for the several years I've been in it. I love this county. I could have went over the county lines and went to Calvary County because that's a beautiful county. Mr. Getty knows that. He worked there. Everything is beautiful up there. You got the homes, you got the business, and you got the recreation. Now it's time for Meriwether County to jump on board. Because whether you want to believe it or not, this is part of the Metro Atlanta area. I come into contact with people every single day that would love to come to Meriwether County and stay. But we do not have anything to offer those people, including the school board. The schools have to be brought up to par. And that's where you guys have to step in and say, it's time for us to start working together as a team. And start working together, just saying Meriwether County. Every little small city has to work with you all just as well as you have to work with them in order to bring business and make things proper in this county. Just do the work that we ask you all guys to do. That's all I ask. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, just a note on that, one of the things that will be set up after y'all's next work session is going to be those joint meetings with the school system and with all the towns and all. And Meriwether's a beautiful county. We can't do things overnight, but I think that, we're certainly going in a positive direction.
Well, one thing I forgot to mention, I did attend a meeting with the Board of Education last week. The superintendent had asked me to come, and it was a community awareness forum. And you may have seen something in the paper or not. It was about they want the input of the citizens. It has a website you can go to, and they're asking that citizens go on there, and they ask that you please be very honest. It's about what's good with the school system, what's wrong with it. And I would encourage everyone to do that. And we were there, there was a lot of parents that were there, and there were some folks from the community. But that's a process that's being led by the state for our school system, and it's not over. I mean, it's going to be several meetings. I know I'll be going back to a 2-day meeting with them in February, so that's beginning to happen. And we have a superintendent that really wants that to happen. So I think you'll start seeing some changes.
And not disrespecting you, because he came to our church and talked with us as well, because he's trying to make things better. That's what it's going to take, getting out into the community, talking to the people, because believe it or not, getting back with the Facebook thing, that's where you're going to meet a lot of people on Facebook. And if you can get it out there as soon as possible, people are going to be willing to get in, because believe it or not, there's still a lot of people in this county that don't know what time board meetings are, don't know that you have board meetings or anything. So we just need to grab those young people and try to get them involved too. But that goes back to keeping Meriwether beautiful. You catch the young people, everything else is going to fall into place.
And that's going to be a part of the Keep Meriwether Beautiful. Our discussion was how are we going to get it to the community. It was discussion about going into the schools, going to the civic clubs, going to the churches, and having those talks and giving people opportunities to help and get involved. So I think you'll see some things beginning to happen.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, I do want to elaborate a little bit. There's a lot of opportunities in Meriwether County, but it does require more stakeholders. It requires more people coming to the table, not just complaining, but with solutions. And it's going to take the work of all aspects of the county, from the municipalities. We were the ones who initiated a meeting with the Board of Education. We've already had that meeting. We are the ones who are initiating a training session with the cities. But once again, accountability just does not fall on this board. It also falls on making sure those in the municipalities come on board. I can say that the city of Greenville always have a representative at these meetings. I can say Warm Springs normally is always at these meetings. Woodbury is here, but I can honestly say Luthersville very seldom is here. Lone Oak is very seldom here, and Gay, I don't think has ever been here. So the reality is, we are all part of Meriwether County. This board has certain policies and procedures that it's guided by, but we once again got to bring more people, and those who really want to come to the table needs to come to the table. In reference to roads, we do know that a lot of the roads in this county are substandard. They didn't just get substandard, they've been substandard for quite some time. We are working, we have put some things together, but unfortunately this bad incident, the flooding it just took us by surprise. But we're still thankful and compared to Fannin County and other counties, and we're still even more thankful compared to people up in the East Coast. However, there is a policy and a procedure when your roads, you contact Public Works then fill out a work order, and that in turn, they will send that to the director and go there. As Commissioner McCoy just stated, we appreciate the patience of those the past couple of weeks, because there were some roads that weren't even passable. There were some roads that so unfortunately we couldn't get to every road, but if you do contact Public Works, as soon as they can get out there, they will. Now, personally, I have been on Leroy Robinson Road. Mr. Gay and myself had went and looked at that road. Right now, if the conditions of the roads are worse than what we did, we have to prioritize. Not to say we're not going to come, because we appreciate you all coming to the meeting, but right now, we have roads that are totally not passable. And then unfortunately, we've had some people who felt, for whatever reason, to steal a backhoe. They didn't take it, they stole it. That's money that we no longer have to work with. So one of the things is we've got to get the information out there. I'm excited that we will start having social media, and everything that goes on, the good, bad, and ugly, will be out there. So I assure you, this board is working 24/7. We don't take anything for granted, but it's going to be a process. And we appreciate your candor. We appreciate your honesty. I personally do. And I want to hear all of it, because, you know, we can't find solutions unless we have it all at the table. But you also got to understand, as stakeholders, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So thank you, once again. Thank you for your input.
Does anyone else like to say anything?
Ms. Beth, I would like to add just a comment. The thing that we voted on tonight to extend communication here through social media, Ms. Shirley's worked on that quite a bit. I think we've had a good opportunity here through Ms. Corker to get some more info out there to you folks and let you know what all is taking place. Now, as she said, there's a lot that we do that you don't see. One of the things we have been meeting on and debating, and thankful through Mr. Theron Gay, you know, we only get so many dollars, LMIG dollars, that we match, that we go out and we do so much road paving each year. Traditionally, we have used the asphalt base. This year, the asphalt base is running us about $188,000 a mile. This year, we're going to go back and use a couple of applications of tar and gravel and sand it. These roads seem to hold up. That's going to give us, it's going to cost there about $90,000 a mile. So we're getting twice the coverage that we normally get for the same dollar. And to be honest with you, and I think you can check with Mr. O'Neill, the gravel roads tend to hold up. The asphalt just cannot take the expansion that goes on along the edges, and it starts to break down. So there's quite a few things we do, and we try to bring that to you. I have told folks a number of times, you know, I make about 37 cents an hour working for the county. If you add your hours up and divide it into what you're paid, that's about what it works out to. So we are trying, we are striving, believe us, behind the scenes, and there's just things we're going to get done, and hopefully this year you will see a few more things unveiled here in the county that will make you even prouder of Meriwether County. That's all I have to say.
Anything else? Yes.
This is concerning public safety. You know, of course, I stay on Primrose Road area.
Sure.
I would love to see in the future that you would update the fire station in the community. If not updated, build a joint fire/sheriff department precinct there, so the officers can have somewhere in the northern end of the county to go to, so they can come all the way back to Greenville, or either go somewhere else. Then you have a decent place for the guys to have some type of training, have bathroom facilities whatsoever. And if some of the public have to go to somewhere during a storm or something, they have somewhere to go and be able to stay until the storm is over with. That's one of the things that I want to put on the agenda somewhere in the future. At least looking at something with public safety as far as fire/the sheriff's department on the north end of the county.
Let me give you an update right quick on that before you leave. This is the year we're going to be looking at fire districts in our county, that we can get some monies in the budget that we can work with. Right now, we're struggling with a budget that is only $98,000 to keep all the equipment, all the stations, everything up. So hopefully, get the word out and let people know that we're going to be looking at this. These fire districts will allow us to dedicate some specific tax dollars to just that, fire.
And that's great.
And that is that we're trying to get that up and going.
That's great, because like we said, because even with us being paid department and unit, we're into the process now where we can can everybody train to a certain level, so we can grasp those grants that supply us all the needs that we need as well. And that's going to be a big deal, trying to get those grants in certain areas too. And another thing, just getting the ISO level down. That's
So you know that's
I'll
already
give
been
you a
done.
call.
And it goes back to, that's why, once again, communication.
Yes.
Everything is not gonna be important to everybody. Because you're in public safety, some of these things are automatic for you. Someone else it's like social media to me, it just might go right over their head. However, what you've brought to our attention, we have already discussed this.
And that's
I
what
mean,
I've been talking to
everybody
some-
knows I've discussed Primrose fire station for quite some time.
And you know, with me also, you know, I'm always talking to some of the pastors and some of the people in the community already to try to get them on board with this and with you all as well, so we can try to make this thing happen and try to, like you said, it's not gonna happen overnight. I know, I've been in this business 24 years now with the fire department, dealing with paperwork and stuff like that.
Yes.
But we have to start somewhere. And everybody, just like she said, all these city municipalities have to be involved, because this reflects them as well.
Talk it up, Mr. Rawson.
I'll be calling.
Hopefully, it will be on the ballot this fall.
Thank you, sir.
I don't feel like coming up there, I'll just be honest. The ISO, some insurance companies are saying that that's not gonna matter what the ISO is, it's not gonna impact my rate. So if it's not impacting our rate, why are we putting so much emphasis on trying to get it lower?
It just depends on where you live. If you're within 5 miles of a station and within 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant, you're gonna see a big savings. No, that won't be everybody, but it is a lot of people, especially, isn't it Luthersville, I know out Pebblebrook Road, where they've had run some new water lines. It's gonna be huge for them, so it's just one step at a time. But those people that are.
Plan what they told us, ask me what they told me.
Well, once again, the insurance companies are not there to save you money.
No.
You know, and so if it's like everything, whoever you talk to initially on the phone, then I would always suggest to follow up, do it in writing and send it on, because they don't make the final decision, but they're there to discourage you. But at the end of the day, it does make a difference. It really does. But once again, the average insurance company is not going to tell you that your ISO is going to drop. They're going to say, oh, it's not that important. It's very important.
No, I didn't expect them to tell me that, but after contacting them and trying to send information to them, and I don't know if I need to get some additional information, I've been told that it's not.
Well, see, it doesn't go into effect till the 1st of April, for one thing.
And if you
The
have
ISO rating, so that may have something to do with it. But an insurance company also contacted me and said the very same thing. You know, it doesn't make any difference. So I got on the phone with Chris, And then we called them back. Well, after they dug into it a little more, that insurance company actually called me back and said, it is gonna make a difference. Now, it's certain groups of people,
And that's what
but
a lot of people don't realize, it's not gonna be for everybody in this county.
Right,
That's like
it's gonna be a lot, it's gonna be a good proportion.
Who do I get information from to send to them?
You can, we'll get with Chris Tucker and get you some information. My suggestion is if your insurance company doesn't want to honor it, call another insurance company.
yeah.
Well, you do that, but also what you do is you send a letter to the state commission, who's over our
Tax insurance. I mean, the
insurance commissioner. And you write a letter to them, letting them know that you have contacted, because there are certain insurance companies, we're not gonna call names, who have a really bad history of not following through. All of a sudden, you say you have flood insurance, and they say, no, we don't cover that, so we won't call names, which ones do
There
that.
are a few insurance companies, what Mayor Glover's saying is, and I know what insurance companies she's talking about in particular, that don't recognize an ISO rating. They recognize the conditions that get you that ISO rating. And like you said, that's like pulling teeth to get them to recognize those conditions, because like everybody here said, I think agrees, they're not in it to save you money.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I would find me an insurance company that does.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, another thing, regardless of the insurance savings, and I know we would all want to do that, you're actually going to have better fire protection.
That's right.
as well.
That's right.
And to me, that's most
That's the most
important,
important thing.
That's
more
exactly
so than the insurance, is come and help me when I need help.
Because I can tell you right now, the call volume on the northern end of the county, it has picked up.
Right.
It really has.
All right, is there anyone else? All right, do we have need for an executive session?
You guys have an early morning. I'm gonna just call you and let you know I don't have anything that was an action item anyway, so I'll call you, update you what I wanted, and we can have executive session next week.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Under our future meetings, let's add a work session on February the 4th. That will be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. February the 10th at 9 a.m. February 15th is President's Day holiday, and then our last meeting of the month of February will be on the 23rd at 6 p.m. Is there any other business to come before the board? Hearing none, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a second? Second. All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you. Good evening. It's good to see everyone here for the January 26th meeting of the Marietta County Board of Commissioners. At this time, we'd like to ask if you have a cell phone or other electronic devices, if you would just turn it off until we get through the meeting. Commissioner McCoy is going to lead us in the invocation, and if you'll stand for that and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
If you would, just please bow with me. Father, we just come to you at this time, as always, looking to you as the author and finisher of our faith. Father, we look to you especially tonight for the guidance that we need in making the decisions and just doing your business here for the county, so that it would be not only benefiting to you, but these your people. All things we ask in Christ Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is to adopt the agenda, and we do have one thing to add, and that would be number 7 under new business, social media. So if you'll add that to your agenda. I don't believe there's any other additions. Can we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? The minutes from the January 13th meeting, we have not had an opportunity to read those. Beverly's had a death in the family, so do we just table that? for
I
the-
would just say let's table them to your next meeting, let you approve them. And I've actually read them and returned them to her, but we did not have a chance to make those corrections and get them out to you guys. So my recommendation would just be to table it. We'll put them on the next agenda
Okay.
and approve those in tonight's meeting.
Okay.
That being said, I move we table the minutes till next meeting, Madam Chair.
All right, we have a second? Second. All in favor? Okay, we come to the portion of our meeting for municipal comments. Mayor Glover?
Thank you. Don't have it.
Any other cities. Let's see. All right, we'll move to our constitutional officers. I believe Chief Hadley, you're here for the sheriff. You have anything?
We're good.
All right. Anybody? I don't think we have anybody else. Okay, moving right along. All right, our department heads. We'll start with Brent.
Don't want to slow down a good thing.
Mr. Bruce.
I don't have anything really, unless some of the commissioners later in the meeting have questions me about the roads or anything. We are in the process of repairing what's going on out there. We ordered another truckload of pipe. It should be delivered this week. We have got 6 or 7 of them operational up. We don't have anybody combined. Everybody got to play out. We went around with Jim and FEMA a while ago and showed him all the damages and give him pictures and all and updates on that. So I'm sure we'll have a good results out of it later on. That's about all I have this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron?
All I have is like,
Joey?
Nothing at this time.
Ms. Jane? Okay. Anybody else? Have I missed anyone? Okay, we do not have a need for a public hearing, so we'll move on to old business, and the first item is the courthouse wall.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, again, as we mentioned last meeting, this is slated right now for GDOT to be able to issue a contract and let us for bid in March. And I don't think anything has changed with that schedule, so that's still the schedule, and we'll keep you guys updated as we move forward.
All right, do we just need to keep this on the agenda then?
Can, or, we can take it off old business, and I'll just bring it back when that bid comes if you want. Because, that's the only report I can give you between now and then is that they're in the process.
Okay.
So we can leave it and until it's resolved, would be fine. So
Leave it on there?
Yeah, we can. Or I would actually prefer let's just take it off.
Let's just take it off.
And then I'll put it back on when that time comes. That way we don't have to, we have people sometimes that come that think we're going to give them an update when we don't have an update.
Okay. All right, can we have a motion just to take that off the agenda until we have further news? Have a second? Second. All in favor?
Okay, thank you.
All right, we have some appointments to several authorities and boards. The first one is the Public Facilities Authority. I have not heard back from the person I've talked with there, so I'll need a motion to table that one to our next meeting.
I move to table, Madam Chair.
I have a second. Second. All in favor? Appointment to the Zoning Board of Appeals, that was somebody I was supposed to contact, and I actually forgot about that one, so if we can table that one until next meeting too.
Move to table, Madam Chair.
All right, have a second? Second. All in favor? All right, do we have an appointment ready for the Planning Commission? Hearing none, can we table that one for the next meeting as well?
I move that we table item 4, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have a second? Second. All in favor? Okay. All right, under new business, discussion of Flint River Shoals Bridge and public vote access. Mr. Gay?
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chairman, Commissioners, I had a visit here a couple weeks ago from Mr. Thomas Morgan, and he was representing the Art and Development Homeowners Association along the Flint River. And he wanted to come and talk to the board initially about trying to limit some of the access that they were having some trouble with. But I told him before we brought that forward, I'd like to go out and just take a look at it, see what we're looking at. So Bruce and I met Mr. Moreland and some of the property owners, and John Hanson from Pike County, he's Pike County manager, out there this morning. And in reality, the Meriwether County area is fine. They're having trouble with boat access, and they're having trouble with parking on the Pike County side. And so what we did was talk with them, and I think Pike County is going to address the issues that are there. They're going to try to come to a resolution to make it safer and less of an impact on the property owners there. From Meriwether County standpoint, I don't think it will impact us at all. We did offer if there's anything we could do that would help out the situation, fine. I think they're looking at, and hopefully eventually being able to build a little nicer parking area there, maybe on some of the green space. And then that would be a good place for, sheriff's deputies from both counties to turn around as they're patrolling. But that's down the road, and as far as Meriwether County is concerned, our side looks good. I think the county's done a good job with that, so there's really no issue for the county. I just wanted to let you guys know what we had done and what's looking at. And if Pike County, we'll keep you guys posted as they, come forward.
So there's not anything we need to take any action?
No, ma'am, not at all.
All right, next is a resolution appointing Commissioner Hines as the Meriwether County Legislative Coordinator. We did vote on this at our last meeting. We just need to make a motion to accept the resolution officially appointing her as the Meriwether County Legislative Coordinator.
It's just paperwork,
Okay.
catching up with their actions.
All right, can we have a motion to accept the resolution?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay. All right, county purchasing and credit card ordinance and user agreement.
And, Bill, you want to?
Yeah, I'll take care of this. As many of you know, the state legislature passed a bill, took effect the 1st of January, requiring all counties and municipalities in the state as well that issue debit or credit cards to elected officials that they have to have an ordinance as well as a resolution to that effect. And what I've included in your packet, the first page is more or less information from ACCG, and what we'll be looking at are three things. We'll be asking you to publicly vote to authorize elected officials to use the purchase of credit card. And secondly, we'll ask you to adopt a policy regarding the use of the card. And the third thing is to county and the elected officials that you designate regarding the use of the county card will have to enter into a contract. Although we do not issue credit cards to county officials, ACCG and their attorneys have deemed if, for instance, if Judge Rasnick comes to get a credit card to go once or twice a year, that is in effect issuing him a credit card. So they think it's in our best interest to adopt these documents if they have. Susan's looked over them. She hadn't had a chance to get them in the format that'll fit into the way we do things yet, but she's more or less signed off on the content of them.
She told me she'd have those ready by the next meeting. I think you also have to name a card administrator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as well. And my recommendation on that would be Mr. Greg.
So I guess we need to,
Do we need to take all these things separately then?
yes ma'am, I would do that. We'll just take them in order of that. The first one would be, look on your second page, you'll see the resolution of the Board of Commissioners regarding county-issued purchase of credit cards. Be it further resolved by public vote designates, and the ones we have listed, those are the ones that would be using the cards if they need
We have to have
it.
this agreement with.
Right, commissioners, coroner, magistrate judge, probate judge, sheriff, superior court clerk, and tax commissioner. So I need y'all to vote on that if you would.
Okay, hearing this information from Mr. Gregory, can we have a motion to accept the resolution regarding the county-issued purchase and/or credit cards?
So moved, Madam Chair.
All right, we have a second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, next will be the credit card and ordinance.
Or that next is in the ordinance, and we've had a chance to look at this. There is a correction on this that we need to make. It's on the third page of the ordinance under paragraph 5, subparagraph A, authorized purchases. That per transaction amount of $2,500 needs to be reduced to $1,000. That will bring it into the guidelines of our purchasing ordinance that we have on file. The per month of $2,500, that's the limit on the card, so they wouldn't be able to charge any more than that.
Okay.
And that comes up again on the contract, but I'll point that out when we get to that. And,
Okay, hearing this information, can we have a motion to accept the ordinance for the purchase card and credit cards for elected officials?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay.
And the third document of several pages behind that is the purchasing card and/or credit card user agreement between the county and the elected officials. And under number 1, subparagraph D, that amount needs also to be changed to $1,000.
Is this something we'll just do once a year for this, or is this something we have to
I
do?
think once we have it on file, we may have to do the agreement yearly.
I think until you have, you know, if you have a change in constitutional officers,
Yeah.
naturally you have to
Yeah.
update that.
All right, we have all the information about the agreement between Meriwether County and the elected officials. Can I have a motion to accept it? A second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Madam Chair, I do have a question. Even though ACCG is recommending this because of the legislature, the information is stayed on file where? Do we also send this to anyone, as it just stays here? As far as the documents?
It's added on the website for Unicode. It'll be added as an ordinance.
As an ordinance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we'll probably send ACCG a copy just where they know
That we've
taken
we're in
it out.
compliance to it.
And I think you're also going to need to name that card administrator
Oh,
too.
Okay, so we just, okay.
That is.
Okay.
All right, can we amend the motion to, can we do it over this, with this
Just do,
same one?
yeah, just do another motion.
Okay, can open, this would be on number 5, to approve the agreement between Meriwether County and the Meriwether County elected officials and appoint Mr. Gregory as the card administrator.
Right.
So moved.
All right, have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, is that all of that then?
That's all of that, thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is Carolyn McKinley had planned to be here to talk to us about some tourism grants, and she's unable to be here, so can we have a motion to table that to our next meeting, please?
Madam Chair, I move to table tourism and grants until next meeting.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor? All right, next is, that we added to our agenda is social media.
Yes, ma'am. Madam Chairman, Commissioners, Commissioner Hines, Commissioner Plant, and I have, and all of us have been really, all of you guys have been talking about the way the news media is today, the need to have social media, and the need to get the word out and to, you know, work on the county website and get information out. Here, it's been a couple weeks ago, we met with Ms. Ellen Corker, who is a big background in newspaper, you know, publishing information and writing stories. And we asked her for just an update of what it would take to be able to help us, you know, get the word out on social media. I've talked to Brent about it a little bit, and you know, believe it would really help the county. She said that she would be willing to work like 8 hours a week, every week, and at $20 an hour to help us, you know, establish this, help us maintain everything. My plan would be initially to have her maybe meet with Brent and Skip, go over everything, and then I would want to, you know, kind of introduce her to all of our department heads and our elected officials. And we need to set up a way where we can feed information in to her, and we can get, you know, the word out to everybody. And so she's willing to do this and commit to one day a week if you know, if you guys are interested in moving forward with that.
What was her name again?
Her name is Ellen Corker.
Can you spell the last name?
Corker. And she would post an official Meriwether County Facebook page, and she would compile and post news and publicity items and images and work on those things. Here is her proposal if you guys want to take.
It's something that we have talked about for a long time.
That's
that
right.
we need to do.
And of course, background there, she was the managing editor, assistant editor for the New York Times Herald for a long time. work with, I know a lot of you know Winston Skinner, working with them. Her, another advantage we have is her husband's actually public information officer in another county. And of course, he would have access to anything that's new and upcoming in the media area. And of course, you know, we can try this and see if you guys like it, you like the result, and if you do, maybe we can, you know, branch out and do more in terms of social media. So,
Aren't hearing this information, Mr. Gay, what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair, I think we should move forward with this, 8 hours per week at $20 an hour to hire Miss Ellen Porter. Sounds like a pretty good deal for this, so I'll make that motion.
You have a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
thank you.
Before we go into the finance, can we go back to the public facilities appointment? You just text me.
I'm gonna tell you she's back in town.
Just said that she'd be glad to do that, so can we go back and do that? We don't have to table it then?
Okay.
This will be appointment to the Public Facilities Authority. I'd like to reappoint Robin Wilkerson to that authority. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, that'll get that one.
Good deal, thank you. So that one's now done.
Yeah. All right, now we'll have a report from Mr. Field.
I just have a couple of things. You've got the report on county bank balances. Our general fund still has a robust balance of 2.3 million. Just received another check from the tax commissioner for $500,000, and not including that, I just want to mention that they've collected 81.39% of the budget as of December 28th, which is pretty good.
That is.
Got any questions? I'd be glad to entertain them. If not, that's all I have.
Any questions? Okay, we'll get a report from Mr. Gay.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Of course, all of you know, because a lot of you guys have been involved in this too, we've been, you know, reviewing the road and flood damage. I know Commissioner Hines and I've been out and looked at some roads. Bruce and I have looked at quite a few roads, and we'll continue to work on that. We've got some pipe ordered. We're going to have to look at some equipment. We've got some issues with equipment, so we may have to lease something. I want to really call the insurance group, probably Beverly's back tomorrow or Thursday, and talk about where we need to move forward with some equipment replacement or rental. And today, as Bruce said, we met with FEMA and GEMA, and we went over all of the categories that they will allow you to look at funding with. We'd already met with GEMA. The issue with FEMA today was to meet with them where they can compile an estimated value of the damage, and they're doing that all over the state from county to county. They've got to reach a $13.7 million threshold in order to be able to receive, hopefully, a federal declaration. And, you know, we're trying to help them out. I think we're probably between 550 and 6, somewhere in that range of what we're looking at, and there may be more as we go forward. As many of you know, King Road, for example, didn't appear to have any damage after the first floods, but in reality it did. They just didn't surface yet. And after the last weekend with 3 inches of rain, we've now had to close that road as well, and we'll have to make repairs to that. So we're working on that. One of the things that we need to mention is if this goes to the cities. Right now, the cities have not give us anything in terms of their damage, but if we get declared as a federal disaster area, they will have 30 days from that declaration to be able to come back in with any damages they have. They've got a total $3,200, I think it is, $3,300, And then if they reach that threshold, then they'll be able to add their items in as well, even though they didn't initially ask for that. So if we get that declaration, we'll certainly let them know. We'll try to go ahead and let them know anyway up front, just in case. That way they can be gathering their data if they've got anything that is related to that. So was glad to get FEMA down today, and I think that was a big step. I want to say thanks to all of our staff. They did a really good job of keeping up with everything we spent, from barriers that we built to man hours to equipment, everything, they kept up with, which is good, because I've heard some horror stories in some other counties that, well, they've got a lot of damage, but they don't know what to spend because they didn't keep up with it. So good job on that, guys, and we'll keep you guys posted on where that stands. Some other things. We attended our work session the other night, and I know when we get to our setting the meetings, we need to set February the 4th from 4 to 6 as your next work session. I've also talked with our staff, and they're giving us information that I'll pass on to you guys about some of the plans and the objectives and goals that they want to reach this year as well. So we'll have those hopefully ready for you next week. We prepared the agenda and attended the Recreation Board meeting, Bill and I did. We really didn't have a quorum. We met down at the Woodbury Gym, which was great, but we didn't really have a quorum. We had a lot of basketball games going on that night, and it was well attended with the parents and the kids, but we just didn't have that quorum to have any, a board meeting. A little report on recreation. We're about halfway through the basketball season. We're going to be sending teams to the GRPA tournament. We're going to be hosting the 7 and 8 World Championships. It's going to be hosted in the Woodbury Gym. And so that will be coming. I'll try to get you guys some dates on that. They're talking now, Vic and Randy were talking about maybe having the ladies adult basketball program. They're trying to see how much interest there is in that. Of course, girls softball and baseball registration is going to be starting very soon. They've also talked about having maybe even a younger league next year in basketball. And we talked about senior citizens programs a little bit. GRPA, which is the Georgia Recreation Parks Association, they meet 4 times a year. We talked about that. There are 8 districts throughout the state. And we actually have 6 members because we have a couple members, Randy and his assistant are there, Vic and some people they've got down there. And it's, good program. I think everything's going well, in recreation. We met with our staff over at 911 construction site. We're going to work in a way to have our in-house staff do the rough wiring. Ron and Bruce willing to have some of their staff help. That'll be a cost saving for Brent and the project that he's working on. And so we're trying to get that project going as well. I mentioned that we already, that we had a department head meeting. We're discussing the goals for 2016. Last meeting, I'd gotten some calls on CSX and Jeep Line Road about the road being blocked. And of course, I corresponded with CSX, and they called me and said, we don't ever block that road. That's a main line. Well, this week I got a call from a lady getting very upset. They were there for 2 different times for over an hour. So I responded back to CSX and said, listen, despite what you told me, this is going on. I've not heard back from them on that, but we will follow through. We've already covered the FEMA GEMA meeting this afternoon, and we appreciate them coming down. Appreciate our staff going out and working on that. Bruce and Brent and Chris and others. Appreciate them going out and taking them to review that this afternoon. Hazard mitigation plan, Meriwether County has completed that. I got a visit last week with a request for a letter to close that out, and we did that. It was from Mr. Terry Lund with Mitigation Division. We had so much attendance on that with our staff and others that we're actually going to get some money back. We're going to net about $2,900 on that, so that check should be coming, fairly soon. So we've completed that plan. Our water and sewer refinancing program, we actually got a conference call Thursday, at 1:30, I think it is, to cover the presentation to the bond rating agency. And any of you that want to come, y'all are welcome to do that. We're going to talk about it with the attorneys and with the finance guys, and then what we'll do is we'll have a conference call with the bond rating agencies where we'll go over the history of Meriwether and show them why we need to have a very good bond rating. So we'll send you guys a copy of that presentation, but we're going to work on that tomorrow.
What time was that?
Thursday, it's 1:30. And it's just going to be a conference call between the attorneys and Bill and myself and the finance people to talk about.
Sounds very lively.
It is lively. Wait till we get the bond people on the phone. You'll really love that. So we'll have that coming. Miss Jane, she was tonight. We didn't have, because we're short on staff, we didn't have time to present anything official tonight, but we will. And I just wanted to bring, and I know all you guys know this, that she's been elected president of the Korea Southeast U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate all she's done and the great work. And I think that's going to become official, I think, tomorrow night, I believe it is. Thursday night. And of course, we'll get something more and have a little more information for you at your next meeting. But I did want to recognize her for her participation there. And the 2016 annual ACCG conference coming up April 29th to May 2nd. We will, if you guys will take a look at that. I passed that out earlier, and I know you got it by email as well. But take a look at the classes and everything. The faster we can get you guys registered, the quicker and more successful we'll be in getting into the classes that you want. So anyway, when Beverly's back in, we'll work on getting that registration done. And that's what I have tonight to report to you.
What about CSX on the bridges? We heard any more from you?
No, sir. I will. I called John Hoopengarter, but I just get back and speak with him. I have spoke to the property owner, and I called them and let them know what the latest was, and we'll get some time and get that done. Hopefully by your next regular meeting, I'll have you some updates on that. Okay. And I had a meeting with Manchester scheduled, and because of the GINA meeting, I had to cancel that. But we were going to talk about gas line as well, so we're going to reschedule that. Have that here hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So.
What's the latest on Mr. Preston Mixon? He's still on schedule for the...
They are. I think they're really waiting for weather to clear. I know he was coming to see you.
Come by sometime this week.
Okay.
Is he? Okay.
And I know the weather's been bad. I'm sure they've been backed up like everybody else is with the weather. And we've talked about once they get here, we'll need to. I know we've been working on roads, but we're going to have to kind of shift over and do a little bit of things there to get them ready because we don't want to hold them up either.
That's true.
Okay. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from our county commissioners, and we'll start with Commissioner Hines.
It's good to see y'all friendly faces. Appreciate y'all being here. Just a couple things for me. This week, I don't think there's always meetings, but this past Friday I got a chance to attend the tourism meeting. I'm sorry that Carolyn is not here to elaborate on all the good work that they're doing, but they got some really good projects coming on with the mural project. Greenville has an app of the historical buildings in Greenville. So the tourism group is doing a great job. I'm excited that we now will have someone on board to do the social media, because one of the things, for those who do not get an opportunity, 85 South, it's a really good magazine. It's free, and they're always highlighting favorite towns, places to go, and Greenville is in. This one, Warm Springs, is also highlighted in here. They have the pictures of the cities or their city logos. There's nothing for Greenville, but they do capture the courthouse. And we do have a very beautiful courthouse. So it mentions in here, Greenville is the county seat of Meriwether County, so what's there to do in the county with barely a dozen traffic lights? If you're a hunter, then you know that Meriwether County is the location of choice for hunters. And it ranks as one of Georgia's outdoor news. Go Bucks. So this is pretty good, and this is what your PR person, your social media person will do, is make sure that we're always in the light. Yesterday I had an opportunity to go to another meeting, and it was the meeting on interacting communication for social media, but it was for tourism. This week at the Capitol is tourism. So all those involved with tourism for the state of Georgia will be at the Capitol for the next 2 days. It is the third highest industry in the state. One of the things that I thought was pretty interesting that they brought to our attention is how social media works and why. What's the difference between Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of that. But what was interesting is that they're able to track everybody that comes into this state, how much money they spend, where they're spending their money. This data was just phenomenal that they're able to do this. So Explore Georgia is the thing that they're pushing. The theme for this year is Music in Georgia. They will identify all the people who are, came out of the state of Georgia that are, prominent in the music industry. So they're going to be pushing that. So if there's anyone in our county that we may not be aware of who have done written music, played whatever, we need to let them know who that individual is or that group, and so they can promote that for us. And that's the good thing about Explore Georgia. If you give them the information, they in turn will market it for you. People are constantly asking what to do. When we come to Georgia, where do we go? And so it was good to see all the different people there. There were people from North Georgia, South Georgia. There was a group from Savannah that was there, and talking about, once again, capturing those dollars when people travel. So I think we're on the right track with our tourism in the county. But once again, we just got to get our story and our branding out there, and it needs to be consistent and precise. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. Commissioner McCoy?
I'd just like to say thanks especially to the staff and to the people that we've had over the last few weeks, Public Works and others that have been so involved in the aftermath of the flood. And I'd like to say thanks to our residents here too, because they have been so kind and stayed off our backs up until this week. Now I'm getting a good many calls about different roads and concerns that they have, which we're passing on. Oftentimes I'll call Mr. Thayer and let him know the roads that are the problem areas. And sometimes I'll just call Miss Sue and say, be sure you got this on your list. No one will get to it as soon as we can. I think what makes it so sad is when we've got everybody out there strung out and we got a piece of equipment beside the road, somebody comes along and takes it. That's just almost unheard of. Our backhoe was taken that way, so I really hate that people do that. I don't know what you can say. They're not stealing from the county. They're stealing from every one of us. We pay those taxes. So that bothers me just a bit when I see that. You heard Mr. Theron's report with FEMA and GEMA. Now, just about 2 weeks ago, we were meeting with GEMA and the DOT, trying to get our hands around the total damage and trying to see, hopefully, if there's some money in that direction. Mr. Theron didn't mention it to you, but the LMIG has come through for us for about $135,000 on Montgomery Road, which helps us. Understand, when you've got over $500,000 of damage out there, what that does to a budget our size. So anyway, I am so glad that everybody seems to be coming together on that, and hopefully there'll be some more dollars out there. The key is, right now with FEMA across this state, if there is a total of $13.7 million worth of damage, we will then be eligible, quite possibly, we have passed our threshold, we would be eligible to collect some FEMA dollars, which would certainly help us a lot. So y'all be thinking about that as we go forward. We certainly need it. That was just about all I had, and there's a lot going on in the county, and so much that we're having to go back and redo, obviously because of flood damage. But there's some things coming to down the road. We're just talking about a few here. The expansion of the animal shelter, even the start on the firing range. We're looking forward, and that's Mr. Mixon on that. I think that's about all I had. Thank y'all for being here.
I just have a couple of things I want to mention. Tomorrow, the Board of Commissioners will have the opportunity to travel to the Capitol for a legislative day, and it's a day that we're going to be doing in conjunction with Harris